What's up everyone, I hope you all had a great start into the week. If you're new to the channel, sup, my name is Swag, and I make random videos on Warframe. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more videos. Anyways, shameless plug out of the way, let's get into today's topic. With 2020's end around the corner, I thought it would be fun to list the top 10 Warframes of this year. Now, these frames are in no particular order, and apart from my own totally biased view, are not categorized into tiers. We all know Loki is the best frame out there anyway. Rather, I rank them for how engaging they are to play, if they're fun to play, build varieties, and the all-around acceptance from the Warframe community. So sit back, relax, have a coffee, and let's get started with number 10, Volt. Now, don't start crying. Number 10 doesn't mean that Volt is bad, rather that he's the first frame that comes to mind when it's about the best frames in the game. Volt is incredibly versatile. From speed demon to tileset clearing, elite sanctuary onslaught monster to a very casual Eidolon hunter to start with. Volt has it all. He's fun to play, has great abilities, augments, and is a nice addition to any arsenal. Above all that, his skins are amazing, and the customization make for a great looking frame as well. Volt is one of the 3 starter frames and can be purchased in the Tenno research lab of your dojo, if you did decide to go with a different frame. I recommend Volt to anyone who hasn't tried him yet and is looking for a frame that can deal incredible amounts of damage while being completely self-sustainable. Pro tip, you can swap out your attack speed mods for more damage on your melee, if you run a build with lots of duration and some power strength. Number 9, Neza. The third Lotus Prince needs no introduction. Especially with the Prime version that just came out, everyone should know about Neza. From a fiery speed boost, teleporting, insanely tanky to great CC, Neza has it all. On top of that, he's insanely fun to play, and always a welcome teammate in pretty much any situation. Slap the Warding Halo augment on him, and that squishy little Excalibur teammate you played with will slide directly into your DMs. Neza is an absolute jack of all trades and can carry you through all content in a breeze. He can be obtained in the Tenno lab of your dojo, just like Volt. Pretty convenient. Number 8, Harrow, the Dark Priest. The frame with one of the best quests behind it. Harrow is pretty much the ego frame. In order to go beyond powerful, you will need to be the fastest and most effective killer in the team. Buffs ranging from overshields, healing, crit chance, and fire rate increases make Harrow an absolute beast in solo play. Sadly, you won't see a lot of Harrow players on the star chart currently, as the meta is progressing more and more towards room nukes. But don't be mistaken, Harrow isn't just a frame for solo play or to be played as a support only. Harrow single-handedly changed the Eidolon meta. Being able to be invulnerable in a damage phase has immense potential and is often preferred over Trinity. Harrow's farm is a whole different story though. The quest attached to him explains it all. It's an absolute nightmare to farm for him. His blueprint is awarded after completing the chains of Harrow quests. His chassis drop from Void Fissure enemies. Neuroptics drop from Rotation C spy vaults on Pago, the Kuva fortress. And most annoyingly, the systems drop from Rotation B and C on defection missions. Number 7, Baruch, the Patient, the Calm. Baruch is the other side of Harrow's coin. Where Harrow punishes, Baruch wants peace. This frame is by far one of my favorites. His kit is extremely useful in both solo and team play, and is all around very fun to use. Dodge bullets, put enemies to sleep, destroy their little guns with magically flying daggers, and then punch them in the face with Desert Wind. When you ever need a frame where punching the enemy around, like the hopeless meat sacks they are, to feel your desire to beat your boss, Baruch is the answer. Baruch's blueprints can be purchased from Little Duck Inn Fortuna. You will need the hand rank to purchase all parts for Vox Solaris standing. The total standing you'll need is 20,000 to purchase all parts, and while this is bound to a lot of farming, Baruch is definitely worth it. Number 6, Banshee, the Silent Death. Banshee is a little niche pick of mine. When it's all about nasty damage while keeping the enemies at bay, there's only one answer. Push them over, reveal their weak spots, stun them, and secure a large area with her abilities. Talking damage, Sonar is one of the most useful abilities in the game, if you ask me. Being able to multiply your damage by 500% on a whim is completely insane. Being able to spot enemies with this ability as well, which is more efficient than enemy radar or enemy sense on their own, saves up a mod spot to allow for better builds. Not a whole lot of people know how powerful a good Banshee can be, but if you want to be convinced, I suggest watching Relentless Zen's breakdown of the Spirit Banshee, link in the description box below. Banshee is another one of the OG frames that can be obtained from the Tenno lab in the dojo. As of right now, she's also unvaulted, so go get them prime parts. Number 5. Nekros, the Master of Death. Nekros is one of the most brutal frames out there when it comes to his concept.
Send them to the slaughterhouse!
Punch the soul out of your enemy, instill them with a deadly fear, desecrate their corpses, summon the fallen to fight their own brethren. Beyond the concept, Nekros is the farm frame. Basically, bodies that fall in battle drop additional loot, demolish their corpses with slash or cold damage, and multiply the drop chance even more. While doing that, stay alive by raising the corpses of your enemies and have them fight for you. Fun to play, always useful, and always smiled upon in loot runs. Oh, also, a fully ranked redirection gives you a shield value of 666. The Nekros blueprint can be bought from the market, and his components drop from Levantis on Magnesidium on Deimos. Number 4. Gara, the Glass Warrior. Gara may come as a bit of a surprise to many, as I personally don't play her all that much. However, she is one of the most powerful frames you can obtain early on, with 90% damage reduction that can be cast on yourself, allies, and objectives, and an area of effect protective barrier that allows for a damage buff up to 50% on affected enemies. You got yourself a freak of a frame. Not only that, but with a decent stat stick and a good build, you can stack up as much damage as your heart desires on Splinter Storm. Now, I like Gara because she allows for a decent amount of different playstyles, and her abilities are affected by a lot of different factors. To become the ultimate Gara, you will need a PhD in math, and also be a platinum millionaire, for the optimal stat stick Riven. There are tons of videos out there on Gara, so go watch those, as I will probably never cover her in depth, just due to the sheer amount of information needed. Gara's blueprint is awarded on completing the Saya's Vigil quest on Cetus. The component blueprints can be farmed from the Plains of Eidolon bounties. Number 3. Mack, the Magnificent, the Almighty. Mack is a bit of a favorite pick. As a starter frame, she's pretty weak though. Yet, once you have the mods to unlock her full potential, you're looking at a frame that can do pretty much anything you put her through. With abilities that range from choke point holds, low level mob clearing, armor reduction, to a bubble of doom, there's nothing that will stand in the way of a Mack player. Mack is one of those frames I just can't put down and is a solid pick for every mission out there. I personally love to play Disruption with Mack, as she allows me to lock down a large area, so the team can concentrate on killing the ticking time bomb running towards us. Now if you want in-depth bubble information or an all-round guide on how to play Mack, go over to Cephalon Jizo's channel. As the community's designated Mack main, this bald motherfucker will show you the true potential of this frame, link in the description below. Mack's main blueprint can be bought from the market. The parts can be farmed from the Sergeant on Iliad, Phobos. Number 2. Loki, the Trickster, the Deceiver. If you know anything about me, Loki is hands down my favorite frame to play. There's something about playing a glass cannon frame that can draw aggro, go invisible, it's fast, and can teleport and effectively reduce damage while CCing a whole room that just appeals to me. Sadly, a lot of the OG Loki mains have gone absolutely insane and committed uninstall after the meta shifted from CC to just pure damage. While this is understandable, I invite you to try this absolute monstrosity of a frame. I'd say the particular playstyle that Loki allows you to use can only be described as jack of all trades. Here's a quick rundown on what his abilities do. Decoy pulls aggro, effectively reducing or completely eliminating incoming damage. Now, decoy does not scale to enemy levels, which basically means that any enemy over level 70 can pretty much one-shot it, which is a thorn in the eye for 90% of the Warframe monkeys that play Loki.
Monkey.
They want it to scale. However, reapplying the decoy or spawning it somewhere where it can't be hit is something that doesn't come up in their small brains. Being invisible and not alerting enemies will allow stealth multipliers to kick in, basically giving you free 700% bonus damage. It also allows you to revive your shitty teammates without getting downed yourself. Now if you see a Loki reviving a teammate, stay the fuck away. You only risk both of you to enter the same state of pathetic bleed out because you pull the aggro towards you. Switch teleport is useful to reposition when the heat of battle becomes too much, or to gain some distance and reapply the stealth multiplier. You can also be an absolute asshole to your fellow teammates and teleport them around, as allies can be switch teleported with as well. Radial Disarm eliminates ranged incoming damage from most enemy types. Disarming an enemy and staggering them in the process is an amazing form of quick CC. With the augment, you can even have your enemies fight each other and chill in the corner for a bit. Can you guess why Loki is my favorite frame now? Loki's main blueprint can be bought from the market and his components can be farmed from the Hyena pack on Psamate, Neptune. Number 1. Gauss, the Speedster. Lately, Gauss has been emerging from Loki's shadow in terms of my playtime. Gauss basically has everything that Loki can't have. More speed, damage reduction, area of effect armor shred, and a shitload of buffs. Going in depth on Gauss would take too much time, as Redline affects all of his abilities and a bunch of things change once your battery is on 100%. So let me explain Gauss in one sentence. Speedy, tanky, armor shreddy, I don't give a fuck how many enemies shoot at me frame. Gauss to me is like putting a middle finger in the face of a max level Grineer heavy gunner with no consequences. Now Gauss's farm is particularly gruesome. His main blueprint can be bought from the market, fairly easy. His components only drop from tier C disruption on Kelpie Sedna with an 8% drop chance. But it's the manufacturing requirements that aren't really the bee's knees. They rather put a shotgun shell through your kneecaps because they're such a bitch to obtain. Having to mine on 2 different open worlds is not cool and will take quite some time. But again, like Baruch, Gauss is absolutely worth it if you enjoy being fast and jumping around like a spider monkey. That concludes the list. Now as I said, this is my top 10 frames in 2020. The ranking is not backed up by any data or analysis of players or whatever. So your list will differ from mine, and that's okay. Don't forget that initially what makes a frame good is that it's fun to play for you and that the frame can complete all content, which at the moment every frame can. So do hit a thumbs up and like the video if you liked it. Also hit the subscribe button for future videos. I'm really trying to reach a total of 200 subscribers until the end of the year, so every single one of you counts. Swag out, later.